about the backlash of the Kardashian clan being included in this video?
I think people just shouldn't care. I mean, I really didn't care because the thing that I have to understand is that everyone should understand is that these aren't characters, they're people. And people have relations outside of music that we don't see all the time. And I saw this, I mean, Cardi B posted on her Twitter, the reason she had her in the video is because she invited her kids to the party and she was really nice to her. I have nothing to do with that. I mean, I'm not necessarily a fan of Kylie Jenner. I don't really hate her. I just don't think she does anything. But, you know, I'm not going to bash her. I mean, because if I don't think she does anything, then why do I care? So she's in there. They have a relation outside of it. It's not my video. I have no say so on what goes on. So if she wants to have her in there, then so be it. And she's in there now, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. So they can just be mad, and then they're all going to get paid off the revenue anyways. So it really doesn't matter.
You know what? I too don't have a problem with her being in a video, but my reason is totally different though. Because because it's more of a historical thing. Historically, Black women have been criticized for their sexuality. As a matter of fact, if we go back to like the history of Black women being characterized in the stereotypes as the mammy, the sapphire, the Jezebel, and all of those different things, it was like Black women's sexuality has been used to say that these women can't be raped. These women, you know, they always wanted sex. And to have Kylie Jenner in a video, it kind of adds some universality to a certain extent. But then on the flip side of it, I think having her in a video kind of talks about this, it brings up the notion of white appropriation of Black culture. This Kardashian woman will be viewed a little bit differently from women of color. It's like when I see the Kardashians, you know, when they appropriate Black hair, braids and hairstyles that Black women get banned from wearing in different professional arenas, and that's being beautiful. In Kylie Jenner, you know, the fact that she not only comes out, the music change is like a total spotlight moment for her, and she's wearing like this exotic animal print. It reminds me of white women can intrude into Black space and be like exotic or gold native and is celebrated, but Black women and women of color aren't really allowed those spaces. So I think the inclusion for me, why I like it is it brings conversations like this.
Yeah, I actually really didn't think about it at all in that way. I mean, and that is something that does need to be addressed because cultural appropriation is a thing,
Mm-hmm.
and many people take a lot of offense to it, and it's totally understandable. Um, I don't know,
I mean,
but
recently we just saw Adele. I don't know if you've seen it on social media with the, you know, the different type of braids and and I don't know. It seems like to me like when a white woman enters into the quote unquote Black female space, it's like she gets celebrated, but the Black woman or Hispanic woman doesn't get celebrated.
Adele didn't get celebrated. They bashed her for that.
Oh yeah, well she got bashed, but I'm talking about like with the Kardashians in particular. It's like it's celebrated for this, like that the collagen injected lips, the collagen injected body. It's like, whoa, she's so great. And I'm like, but it's Black women that look like that, and they kind of get told, oh, look at her butt, Becky, you know, that sort of thing.
Here's the thing. I see both because I see the magazines praising their looks all the time. I see all the social media and everything. But I also do see a fair amount of backlash and arguments against them.
Not to say that white women don't need empowerment too, because we live in a male dominated society, but I feel like a lot of times their struggle sometimes supersedes or puts a blanket over the struggle of Black women. And I would say this goes back to even earlier feminist movements like Susan B. Anthony, when, when Sojourner Truth would talk about ain't I a woman? And then after a while, white women, in a sense, kind of whitewash Black women out. It's like, let me unify with you so I can have this, it could benefit me. But when it's come to speaking out on issues that impact women of color, I can retreat back to whiteness and be quiet about it, and that's my whole thing with sometimes the cultural appropriation. Sure, admire the culture. And I think if you benefit from that, please speak out on Breonna Taylor, Sandra Bland. Please use your platform as something. And I also think that their presence too, and this is a whole other issue that we don't have to get into, sometimes play with that whole idea of colorism. Like, if I looked more lighter, or if I looked more like a Jenner or a Kardashian, then I would be accepted more as a Black girl, or maybe I'm just reading too much into it, but those are thoughts.
It's very present and all of it's true. And a lot of it's very systematic, is what I have to say about a lot of the white women being able to achieve so much more without doing nearly half of the work. I think that's all systematic when it's said and done. And that's a problem on its own that needs to be dissolved. But I do think that, more attention is being brought to it, because I remember when Kim Kardashian had, she had like cornrows. I remember like there was news coverage on people giving her backlash for it. So I think in a way it's good, because it's bringing to light, like, these are where these, styles actually originated from. And I, but my thing is, I feel a certain way about it because I'm also very much a person who's like, you don't have to explain yourself to anyone. It's your life. You can do what you want. And I don't think it's fair that every time you want to, when I want to straighten my hair, people don't really give me a lot about being like, why don't you just wear your natural hair? Why don't you do this? Are you trying to be white? I get that sometimes, but I don't have to justify my actions every time I want to switch my hairstyle. And I don't think anyone should really have to. And I don't think anyone should have to give a history presentation if they want to wear something. But at the same time, when you're getting this backlash, be like, oh no, I totally understand where it comes from. And then shed light in that way. I think if it went more like that, a lot of the times, a lot of these issues would go away. I think it's the issue is when you stay silent on it. It's not saying you can't do it, but it's like when you're getting called out on it and you still don't have anything to say, that's when it becomes an issue.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree with that. So you're saying like when they are confronted, just like, I understand the pain that comes from this. I'm still going to wear this particular style, but I am aware of, the impact that Black women or Hispanic women or any women of color haven't been able to feel comfortable with being in this team.
Fight with them when you see these news headlines talking about this woman's got fired. Why don't you go and support her if you're gonna wear this? I think if people did, that's one thing I can say about Kim Kardashian is she was helping out with the police reform. Like, if more people did stuff like that, I think we would get more unified. If like situations like that should be addressed, and if you really do want to wear those hairstyles and you really do understand where it comes from, you shouldn't even have to. You should want to fight for everyone to wear it if you think it's so beautiful,